It's been about 5 days since the NHL trade deadline, and we're starting to see how some of these players look with their new squads. Well, VSiN NHL analyst Andy MacNeil is here to talk about the state of the NHL post-trade deadline. Andy, first and foremost, thanks for joining us. I'm a UMass guy, so let's start with Boston. The Bruins added some pieces to a team that already looked wicked unstoppable. So how far do you see this team going, and how will anyone stop them?
Yeah, I think the Boston Bruins won the trade deadline because they could have easily stood pat while all the teams around them in the Eastern Conference and around the league improved, but they didn't. And this team, can go as far as they've gone all season long. I think they're the best team in hockey, but at the end of the day, the sport of hockey doesn't necessarily do a great job at rewarding skill. We know how much luck can contribute to the results in the playoffs, and the best team doesn't always win. So when I see the Boston Bruins at the top of the Stanley Cup odds board at plus 400, I do have to do a bit of a double take because a 20% chance is definitely high for a hockey team, any hockey team, even the best hockey team.
Yeah, they've got 49 wins on the season, 20 games left to break the all-time or single-season win record in the NHL. I think they can get it done, but don't tell all the people in New York here. And speaking of New York and New Jersey, there's some new faces here as well. Patrick Kane and Vladimir Tarasenko with the Rangers, Bo Horvat with the Islanders, and, of course, Timo Meier with the Devils. So which of these three teams made the most of the trade deadline and is now really set up for postseason success?
Now, I really like what New Jersey did bringing in Timo Meier. He's an impactful player and should be one now and into the future. But you have to go with the Rangers. I mean, nobody added as much star power as the New York Rangers. Vladimir Tarasenko, prior to his shoulder injury that really knocked his career off course, was one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. He was in a class with Alex Ovechkin, which is not something very many players can say, and it lasted about a 3-year period. So if he can bring, any semblance of that to the Rangers lineup, along with what, we know what Patrick Kane is going to bring eventually. I know it hasn't happened yet, but the Rangers have added, more star power and more impactfulness than any other team.
All right, let's look ahead a little bit because I want to get your thoughts on this. If the playoffs were to start today, the first round would be Bruins, Penguins, Leafs versus the Lightnings, Hurricanes versus the Islanders, and the Devils versus the Rangers. Some really good teams are going to go home after the first round. So who do you see coming out of these matchups?
Well, we've got to go with Boston coming out of the first round at least. We got to go that far. After that, I think Toronto has the edge over Tampa Bay. They really took the Lightning to the limit in last year's first round series that went 7 games, a very closely contested series. And the Leafs, I think, are a better team than the Lightning, who have been really dipping as of late with, some of their top stars not really performing up to what we've come to expect. And as far as the Rangers and the Devils, the goaltending matchup goes to the Rangers, but the Devils have been a force all season long. I think that if Vitek Vanacek can play at an elite level, something he hasn't done all season long, but if he can do it over the course of a 7-game series, I think the Devils will give the Rangers a run for their money.
I can't leave my people out in Long Island hanging. So Hurricanes, Islanders, who would come out of that matchup?
It's going to be tough. The Hurricanes are a very tough test. Nobody generates more shots per game than the Carolina Hurricanes. They really overwhelm teams. But for my money, I think Ilya Sorokin is the best goaltender in the NHL. And I know Rangers fans won't like to hear that, but his body of work has been super impressive. He's, the best goaltender that's not going to win the Vezina Trophy this year is probably going to go to Linus Ullmark. But I think he really does give the Islanders a chance. And while I do think the Hurricanes will come out on top more often than not, I wouldn't look past the Islanders and Ilya Sorokin.
See, Islanders fans didn't leave you hanging, showed you guys some love. Andy MacNeil, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.